Had I began the fundraising in 2010, that would have been 4 more years of exposure, 4 more years of fundraising. The schools may be done already. We got to school February 7th, 1 week before Frederick Douglass's birthday, during his bicentennial year. You see that?
If that's not powerful,
it's too many coincidences that leads me, because I never thought I would be here. I thought I was going to be in Chicago, Detroit, because these are big time Dr. Umar cities, you know? And I think destiny put us in. That's why I fight so hard, because I believe it's supposed to be. But it still ain't going to be easy. You still got to finish the work.
My next question is, when did you realize it was time for you to open a school, and why? Or was this something you always wanted to do, or is it just?
I want to, these are some good questions too, by the way. I want to, because you're making me think about things that needed to be said that haven't been said. Okay. There's one mistake I made, or should I say one big mistake, because there's several mistakes were made, more will be made on the way. As someone once said, you have to fail your way to victory. But anyway, one of the big mistakes that was made with FDMG, I should have started that fundraising before 2014.
Okay. And why do you say that?
Because if I would have started the fundraising in 2010, which is when I first became introduced to the Pan-African world, I was a local Umar Ifatunde. From 2000 to 2010, only being known through UNIA Garvey circles. But in 2010, that's when I became known to the whole world. Had I began the fundraising in 2010, that would have been 4 more years of exposure, 4 more years of fundraising. The schools may be done already. You follow me? So I wish I would have started sooner. I think we would have completed by now. So that's a mistake that I made. The reason we started when we started 2014 is because of St. Paul's College. A buddy of mine from Virginia called me and said, Doc, there's a black college for sale, St. Paul's. I got the info. I called the auction company. They said they wanted $2 million. $2 million for a 118-acre campus. Cafeteria, dormitories, church, queen, it was a steal. But we couldn't raise the money. They only gave us a couple months. I still hurt that we don't have that, because it was everything but $2 million. So with that being said, we lost St. Paul's. I said, we still need a school.
Yes.
We can't afford a residential school, but we can still have a day school for now. And that's when I started traveling the country. I was in Ohio, Florida, Illinois, Michigan, PA, Carolina, Georgia. I was going anywhere.
How long would you say this took, the traveling, just time?
The whole 7 years. Wow. From the time we started fundraising until we bought this school on February 7th of 2019, we were hunting. We were hunting the whole 7 years. I believe we were supposed to be here, and I'm gonna tell you why. I practice Ifa, which is the Yoruba spiritual system.
Yes.
I had a divination done. I had a couple of them done, but I had one in particular done in New York City about 2 years before we got to school. And I asked the priest, whom we call a Babalawo, which means father of secrets, because they are the custodians of the mysteries of the universe. I said, is my first school supposed to be in Africa? Because I was wondering, is it supposed to be? He said, no. You are to have a school in Africa, but not your first. He said, your first school is supposed to be where you were born, right? Now, I'm born in Philadelphia. We're in Delaware, but Delaware is only 30 minutes from our front door. You follow me?
Yes.
So when I learned about this school, and I'm thinking about what he said, and I'm like, this is right by Philly. You know what I mean? Like, this is still home. And then I looked at the fact that Frederick Douglass escaped from slavery to freedom through Wilmington, Delaware.
I didn't know that.
Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman came from slavery to freedom through Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay.
Bob Marley from Jamaica used to spend his summers in Wilmington, Delaware. The house is still decorated, Bob Marley.
Yes.
Harriet Tubman's #1 financial supporter was a white man named Thomas Garrett, born on my birthday, August the 21st. He's buried and lived here in Wilmington, Delaware. And he is credited with having helped more Africans escape on the Underground Railroad than any other conductor. And he's buried a few minutes from where we're sitting.
And this is a white man?
A white man, born on August 21st.
You're right there.
And then Henry Highland Garnett, one of the grandfathers of Pan-Africanism, his family ran away from Maryland, a county away from where Harriet ran away from, and a county away from where Frederick Douglass ran away from. Thomas Garrett helped them. The white man helped Henry Highland Garnett, who became one of our grandfathers of Pan-Africanism. He's the first black leader to give a speech in front of the US Congress. He came from slavery to freedom through Wilmington. So you got Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Henry Highland Garnett, all come from slavery to freedom through this city. You got Thomas Garrett, the chief conductor on the Underground Railroad in this city. Bob Marley from Jamaica, Garvey Land, spent his summers in this city. Now it's really going to get spooky. Marcus Garvey's Black Star Line steamship company was incorporated in 1919. Guess where? Delaware.
Okay.
When did we get our school? 2019. We got the school on the centennial of the Black Star Line Steamship Corporation in the same state. Is that a coincidence?
No.
So the numbers,
Yes.
you might say, Doc, how do you keep going? People vandalized the school, they slandered the school, they sabotaged the school, the contractors.
This here's school?
This one.
Okay.
The contractors have been trying to overcharge you, they don't finish the work. You know, people accusing you of taking too long. What keeps you going? It is my belief, because of all of these coincidences, that we're meant to be here.
Yes.
It too much lines up. Even when we got to school, not only 2019 was the centennial of Garvey's Black Star Line incorporated in Delaware, and the Garveyites who filed the paperwork came from Wilmington, but Frederick Douglass, his bicentennial of his birth, February of 1818.
Yes.
February of 2018, he became 200. He doesn't become 201 until February 14th of 2001, right? We got to school February 7th, 1 week before Frederick Douglass's birthday, during his bicentennial year.
Yeah.
You see that?
If that's not powerful,
It's too many coincidences that leads me, because I never thought I would be here. I thought I was gonna be in Chicago, Detroit, because these are big time Dr. Umar cities, you know? And I think destiny put us in. That's why I fight so hard, because I believe it's supposed to be. But it still ain't gonna be easy. You still gotta finish the work.
See, this is kind of taking you out, but I gotta ask while it's here
Sure,
with you. This makes me bring up the fact that a lot of people don't know that you're very spiritual. I didn't know that until last year. And so if you guys are wondering why is he talking about these numbers, or why is he talking about this is not a coincidence, because Dr. Umar was very spiritual. And would you say that is what helped you through this whole journey?
Oh my goodness.
Because you do it a lot. I'm sorry to say, the black people, they try to
crucify me.
oh, he's been taking a long time. Where he stole our money, he's this and that, and not knowing the things you have to go through.
Yes.
And not really knowing that you are actually an amazing human being. I've learned so much from you, and it's just amazing. And people don't see that, and they don't realize that you shouldn't judge a book, and you don't know Dr. Umar Johnson, and you don't know the sacrifices he put through. But
that's right.
It's very amazing that a lot of people don't know. So if you don't know now, you know that he's very spiritual.
Very spiritual.
Man.
And that is what has sustained me, to go to your question. In 2005, I went to Africa for the first time. It was my maiden voyage. I was there from July 2nd to August 1st, or July 1st to August 2nd. 30 days, 30 nights. Ethiopia, South Africa, Nigeria, Senegal. I literally went around the continent. A week in each. Came in through Ethiopia, went out through Ethiopia. Another coincidence, our first festival was on Ethiopian New Year.
Yeah, I remember you shouted that out.
You see, and I came into Africa, and out of Africa, my first visit ever through Ethiopia. So, we get to Gorée Island, Senegal. This is the last week of the trip. We go to the slave dungeon. I take out some water, I pour libation. I never really did a real libation before, but I said, I got to do this. I'm here. Let's see what happens. I was raised Muslim and Christian, so I knew nothing about ancestors, except from what I heard through consciousness. I start crying in the female slave dungeon in Gorial. So I'm out in the Atlantic Ocean in the female dungeon, I'm crying. And you know, the feminine principle, you guys birth, you give birth. And so I just asked my ancestors, I said, listen, y'all brought me here, take me back. And I'm trying to remember what exactly I said, but give me the power I need and the support I need and the tools I need to prove that you all didn't suffer in vain, that you didn't die in vain. Let me be the vessel through which you do your work. I'm serious about this. Give me the job, but make sure I'm successful. I start crying. I get back to the hotel room. I'll never forget this. It's still daylight. I call my mother, let her know I'm okay. I go back to my hotel room. We're staying in a rural village in Senegal, and we're staying in a beautiful rural hotel. So I sit down on the bed, and as soon as I sit down on the bed, I start feeling some energy. I'm wide awake. It ain't dark yet. And then I start hearing noises and screams and chains and animals. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I lay down and try to go to sleep. Now it's getting dark, right? And as the night went on, the presence became more pronounced. Something started shoving me. It didn't want me to sleep.
And nobody was in the room?
Nobody was in the room, no roommate. So I rolled to the other side of the bed like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
2 hands again, shoved me. And then something started tapping me in my third eye. I'm wide awake, I'm woke.
Yeah.
So I started tapping me all through the night, tapping me. And then the hands. I got out there the next day, I was woozy, I was dizzy. I walked through the village, I was asking people what happened to me. And they said that happens a lot when y'all come back over the water, it's your ancestors receiving you. Wow. When I got back to America, I started experiencing coincidences like crazy. I'll think of somebody and I'll see them. My phone ring, I know who it is. You need a book, it's in my hand. I mean, coincidences started firing. So soon I get back to Philadelphia. This is my first week back. I get a phone call from some elders who vended at the festival. They said, there's a brother here selling some slave chains, right? So I went to West Philly, I bought the chains. I took them back to North Philly in my home. I went up to my bedroom, TV stand. I said, I'm gonna put these under the TV stand, let that be a little shrine.
Yes.
Don't you know when I sat on the bed after I put the slave chains under my TV stand in Philadelphia, the same 3 taps on the third eye that I got in Senegal, tapping me in Philly. The message to me was, we came back with you to help you do what you said you was gonna do, and we're gonna stand with you until you're done. That was in 2005. 2010, I became the biggest name in Black consciousness. 2019, we buy this school. 2021, we are where we are now.
Yes.
I'm saying that to say that everything positive that has happened in my life since 2005 has something to do with that dungeon and something to do with them spirits. I believe they are with me. That's why I painted this gem in the colors you see. Blue and white, Olokun, divinity of the ocean. Brown and green, Orumila, the divinity of destiny. That is the energy that was present when God created the universe. Orumila knows the end of everything. He knows how long I'm going to be on the planet. He knows if you're having any more children. He knows how long the United States is going to survive.
Yes.
That is the one being that God allowed to witness the creation of everything. So he knows the ends. So whenever you get a divination, the priest calls on Orumila to open your future road to see what's coming. Shango, the divinity of the leader, the king, the alpha male. He's the ladies' man. He's the judge. He's the leader, the organizer, the diplomat. He's the orator. A lot of people thought I was Shango.
Yeah, I was like, kind of sounds like you, but
I'm Ogun.
Okay.
Ogun is the builder. He is the trailblazer. He is strength and power. He is the representation of the unlimited power of God. Okay. You have Yemoja, she's the great mother. She gives birth to all the possibilities of the universe, the mother of every living thing. Oshun, she is the divinity of love and abundance. She represents the sweetness of life. She represents the joy and pleasure that every human being wants to experience before they go back to the ancestors. And then right here, well, we have Ogun, which is me. He's the worker, the builder. He's energy, he's strength, he's willpower, he's determination. He's also masculine virility. So that's why in white, all white is Obatala. He's the oldest and the most powerful of all the Orisha, and he is the manifestation of righteousness, patience, character, conduct, wisdom, leadership, Obatala. And so I put these in here because I always wanted to have the Orisha energies present with me, because I know how important spirit is after what I've been through. And don't let me leave out Oya. She is the Orisha of change and transformation. She's the hurricane and the tornado. She is the energy that destroys what is to allow for what needs to come. She ends this chapter so a new one can start. She's also the leader of the Agungun Society, which is the ancestors. So when she comes with all the ancestors who travel in her winds. She's also the mother of financial change. So she blesses the marketplace. People in business often call on Oya for assistance because she can bless your financial road. So I would have never thought about African spirituality until I went to Africa. Islam and Christianity, which I still respect, was my foundation. But without question, African spirituality is my elevation. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for tapping into all of the great and mighty energies that God gave us the privilege of being able to interact with.
And it makes sense because I grew up Christian, and ever since I've been practicing what I've learned from you and just learning, I've been more blessed than ever.
Yes.
Since I've been calling on my ancestors and things like that. And so it makes sense with everything that you're saying. And so